Buckle up for another episode of Ghost Facers, a supernatural rewatch podcast. My name is Richard, and sitting shotgun as always is my brother in podcasting, Reed.
Oh, we're the aliens. Take us to your leader.
Oh, I'm sorry, wait, hold on. Wait, what?
Yes, we're here in a UFO. We're going to abduct you up into our special UFO.
Wait, aliens have an Irish accent?
Take us to your leader. We're going to blow up the president.
No. You can't keep making those jokes. All right, let's get into it.
Ghost! Ghost Facers! We face a ghost! We're others, we're not, we're ghosts! Ghost Facers! Stay in the kitchen when the kitchen gets hot! Ghost! Ghost Facers! We face a nightmare, we face a dread! Ghost! Ghost Facers! We face a faceless, we face a dead!
Welcome to Ghost Facers. Today we're discussing Season 6, Episode number 9, Clap Your Hands If You Believe. Ironically, this title actually...
I won't.
Oh. Clap your hands, say yeah?
No.
Oh
no.
my God. Whoa.
Yeah, I snap my fingers if I'm a skeptic.
Or wanting to get rid of half the population.
Yeah. Or if I'm creepy and I'm kooky.
Yeah. Or if you're against the Jets.
Yeah.
Didn't. A thing that I even did today, I think, trying to be cool.
Sorry. God, I mean, I'm going to need so much more than that. You did the West Side Story thing trying to be cool today? I feel like I'm missing so much of that story.
I'll give you some more context. My friend lives outside of town, and I've been going over there, and but they live on a property with like a person who owns the property, and then they have a cabin on top.
Yeah, you're two different races, and they don't want you guys to hang out.
No.
Yeah.
But
Maria, I fell for a girl named Maria.
But you're not like fully wrong, because like, so what happened was like the owner of the land was like basically like
Puerto Rican.
No, they were like, hey, Richard drives through here very fast, like into the property to the cabin. Like, can you like have him slow down? And I kept being like, yeah, I'm just like too much of a bad boy and come speeding in here. And then I was like,
yeah, cool,
right? Then what's cooler than jazz tap?
What's cooler than responding to a reasonable request from someone's neighbors with a West Side Story reference?
Yeah, that's how I show that I'm a badass.
Wow.
A note about this title already.
Sure.
I can't find out which version's the correct version of this title, because some of them have an ellipses in the end and some of them don't.
I think it has an ellipses.
Yeah, but I can't find it consistent anywhere.
Well,
like
what does
TV
it say
Guide,
on the episode when it comes up?
I don't remember. Great
question. Because that would be the one.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a tool we can figure that out. Two people have like computers and I have a DVD, and yet I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, you're right.
There's no way to find out. Also, we've got some news.
Something's not right.
Yeah, you're right. And neither is this news.
Oh, it's the news isn't right?
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh, is it the thing that happened today?
Or
yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Nikki Acox passed away from leukemia.
Yeah, that's really sad.
The original Meg.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Not the like the Meg as in like the giant shark. But
yeah. We're talking about the shark, obviously.
Yeah, the OG Meg.
Yeah, the megalodon.
Yeah,
of course. No, that is sad.
It is very sad. Yeah, they struggled for a long time.
Jesus Christ, why are you laughing?
Because it's too sincere. It's making me really uncomfortable.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I guess hell took her back.
What the fuck?
Because I was trying to connect.
What is this segment?
I tried to connect it to Supernatural, and then I realized that would mean that I'd have to respond to her being a demon, and then I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, you can't.
I can't not say it now, though.
can't do that. Although I will admit, I was trying to find a way to work in speaking into a cup full of blood. But
Thank you. Yeah.
there's no good way to do that, and I realized that.
Only because
You pushed through.
Yeah.
You're like, if I struggle enough, I'll land a joke.
Look, that is the entire process for my comedy.
If I struggle enough, I'll land a joke.
Yes.
I mean, Jesus.
Also, my lovemaking technique.
Oh, no. That's problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the news.
Wow. Bad segment.
We've got a review.
Bad segment. Poorly handled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also my sexual technique.
Yeah, there you go.
We've got a review.
Nice.
From Candace, who says, these gents get it. Yeah, we do.
Sure.
Frequently. Yeah. You got a kid. That's proof that you
I don't
got
see
it.
you enough anymore. I mean,
What?
uh,
They are also funny and relatable and understand my Dean thirst like nobody else. I listen and talk along with them in the car when I'm alone and to feel less lonely. LMAO.
you're welcome.
I like when someone puts LMAO after a very sad
Yeah,
sentence.
yeah. I'm not lonely. Laugh my ass off.
Time is a flat circle and existence is meaningless. LMAO.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like there's no point in waking up in the morning. Ruffle.
Nikki Cox passed away from leukemia. LMAO.
Jesus. Why would
Plus, I'm actually learning stuff like real world lore, and
Thank
that's
you.
rad as heck.
Nice. Yep. I think heck should be like a nicer suburb of hell. Heck should be like where you go for like
Tax evasion.
yeah, you go to heck.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, look, you at the end of the day, you're
It's the place where like your lawn's always brown and you never use your produce fast enough, but like that's
sure.
just what you're faced with. Those are the
Yeah,
inconveniences of heck.
yeah. Isn't that called life?
I mean, we are in heck. Yeah. We're in the mildly bad place. Yeah. Yeah. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Society.
Yeah, we could be not straight white men.
Yeah, men.
That would be hell.
Yuck.
Yeah. We're just chilling over in heck making this podcast.
Not living in hell like the rest of you.
You're welcome.
All right, man.
Yeah, it's 4 o'clock. It's 4:30.
Uh-huh.
This is the mood you're getting from me the day before my birthday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You're just a little baby right now.
Yeah. You know, I'm just young.
Yeah, I'm 44.
I'm young, dumb.
full of gum. All
Not
right.
tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be old. The only thing I'll be coming is dust.
So this episode aired November 19th, 2010.
Cool.
Nice.
November 19th, 2 days away from my birthday.
Holy shit. Today is November 20th.
Yeah.
And this episode aired November 19th.
Yep. The stars have all aligned.
I mean, ish.
Cue Age of Aquarius. Not the zodiac sign of
Nope.
this time of year.
Written by, of course, who else would have written this episode?
Yep, I agree.
Can you guess?
I think we both know it. We'll say it at the same time
Yeah.
on 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. Go on.
Why shouldn't have to? You were going to do it.
Well, we were going to do it at the same time, I believe, but
Yeah. It's, of course, Ben Edlund.
yeah. Everybody knows.
Yeah. The one who writes some of the most iconic episodes of this show. And of this very much like tonality. I find he's often
Sure.
behind this. He gets the comedy of Supernatural probably the best. Directed by John F. Showalter and viewed by an estimated 1.94.
Oh my God.
I know.
It finally sank
I
below
know, too.
the 2 mark.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah. Sorry. This is it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
It's cold outside. There's significant shrinkage of these numbers.
This the numbers for this podcast for this episode are not DJ Khaled. They are going down.
I like that joke. I like that one.
Yeah, it's a cute joke. It's also about eating pussy.
Yeah, baby.
All right, let's watch the promo for this episode.
Sure, yeah.
And see if they're continuously good.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? This isn't the promo for this episode. This is.
It's silly. It's not a terrible promo, but it does ruin the conceit of the episode, which, like the first Trickster one, is
Aliens.
Are we dealing with aliens this time? Like, I think, if you watch the show long enough, you go, it can't be that. But there's still this thing of like, I don't know, like the show's been on for 5.5 years. Are they doing alien? Like, there could be a thing or whatever.
That is supernatural.
And even if it's not aliens, you don't know what it like. Is it fairies? Is it another trickster? Is it a shapeshifter? Like what is happening? Is it a rogue angel? Like there could be a lot of different things for it. And that promo just goes like, it's definitely fairies.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a slight one more step in the episode, but
still,
they kind of like. I feel like the promo should stay true to like
what the episode's trying
to
make
philosophy of the episode. If the philosophy of the episode is like no one knows what it is and there's a misdirect, then the promo shouldn't give that up.
Or being like aliens, whoa, like that is just as it's if anything, it's more interesting.
Especially when you think of how they open this episode, what they do to the title card and everything. It's like, why wouldn't you promo it that way?
Insane.
Very, very weird.
Yeah. But also, like, not a bad promo. Like, it's still fun.
It's fine, but it missed the brief. Yes. So it, like, kind of fails on that front.
Exactly. There's no creative director involved.
No comment. Could have used a bit more copy.
No, I said no one ever.
A lot more text.
International titles.
I've always said this about this show. Not enough text.
Yeah, I know. That's the best episodes have lots of text.
I want to read it.
Yeah. I mean, if it involves text, you're always reading it.
Read. Baby, it's my name. Don't wear it out. That's doing Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
Don't wear it out.
International titles.
Sure.
So the title is a reference to an old Peter Pan stage play. Tinkerbell is dying because people stopped believing in fairies.
It's not an old Peter Pan. It's the Peter Pan stage play. It started as a stage play.
Yeah.
It's not an. It's the.
It could be both. It is also on.
Haven't you seen Finding Neverland? A totally not creepy movie about a guy that definitely wasn't a pedophile.
Yeah. It's always that weird shot that always makes me feel uncomfortable.
Well, I was saying the movie is definitely like, J.M. Barrie, how could he be a pedophile?
Sure.
It's like, he 100% was.
Yeah. And then no one else has ever taken Peter Pan and made it also about pedophilia since then.
Yeah.
That's not a thing that somebody else also did.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Anyways, good thing this episode's not all about that. So, Peter Pan asks the audience to clap their hands if they believe in fairies. As the audience claps, Tinkerbell gets better.
Yeah. I would love to be there when no one claps. They just have to leave her dead on stage at the end of
call the ambulance. Like, the actual, like, they have to call 911 when they show up and have to, like, drag her away.
Yeah.
This is what you get.
You did this. Yeah. So they look into the kids in the audience and go, you did this. You killed Tinkerbell.
One kid starts trying to clap. He's like, no, it's too late.
It's like, is Peter going to fly off stage? He can't anymore. Yeah, he can't get it up anymore.
Magic is dead because of you.
Did this. Curtain closes. House lights up. That's it. No curtain call. They don't bow.
No repeat performances.
That would be so amazing. If I was like eccentrically wealthy, it'd be like, I will pay you for a 2-month run of a show where if a week and a half in, no one claps, the magic is dead, we don't do the show anymore.
That would be the greatest thing to ever happen to theater.
If I was that eccentrically wealthy, I would 100% do that. I fucking love that shit.
Yes. Incredible.
Oh, man.
We've got 4 titles.
Okay. All right. I'm ready.
We haven't had 4 in a long time.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like you're not excited.
I mean, this is about as much as it gets.
Title of your sex tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, 10's not enough?
It's also
Ladies?
it's also a Triple X parody of As Good as It Gets.
Yeah, this is as much as it gets. You make me want to be a bigger man. I had it As Good as It Gets. Quote.
I know. I
teed
was
up.
crazy that you
That's
had that.
King of improv. Fucking.
Okay. 4 titles. First title is the Italiana title.
The Italiana title?
Yeah.
They're after me like charms.
I like that it's the Irish thing, but said in Italian.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
They've written like that, too.
Yeah, is that it?
No.
Okay.
It's if you believe, clap your hands.
Oh, sure.
So, kind of the same thing, but.
Yeah, more of a hokey pokey vibe to it, but yeah.
If you believe, clap your hands.
Yeah.
All right, the next is the German title.
Oh, magic is not real. It's all in your head.
No, they actually focus on the other part of this episode more.
Oh, the Close Encounter of the Fourth Kind is butt stuff. we established that canonically since this episode.
Yeah.
It's a great joke. This joke would play for decades.
Let's just say Germany is very into the fourth kind.
We have a lot of Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind.
Let's just say we moved away from the Third Reich and went to the fourth kind.
But in Germany, it is not so much the probe entering as it is the Scheiße leaving.
Yeah. But one leads to the other, so they're interplay.
Consider yourselves lucky, Germany, that it's not
the other thing.
It's not war jokes.
I mean, I did say from the Third Reich to the fourth kind, so.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, 1,000-year fourth kind.
Aliens, the other kind.
As a white meat.
No.
What's their title?
Their title is Little Green Men.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
Cute.
That's fun.
Yeah.
As he knows that it's not the color men are meant to be. And so... Move on.
Oh, Schindler has a new list. The Green Men are on there.
Jesus Christ.
The French title. You had it.
Did I? Magic is not real?
No, the other thing.
Aliens aren't real?
No, Close Encounter of the Third Kind.
Oh, okay. They just call it that.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fun. Yeah. At least that's playing into the conceit of the episode.
Which I think I like.
Yeah, that's great.
And the final one is the Hungarian title.
Oh, the Hungarian title is Leprechaun Artist.
I really wish that was the case.
Huh?
We don't get a lot of wordplay with
In Hungarian?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I don't know that. That's all I had.
Their title is Fairies in Darkness.
Sure.
It's metal as hell.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of sounds like an ingredient list as opposed to like...
Yeah, one fairy in darkness.
What's in this? Fairies, darkness, high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, high fructose corn syrup. That's bad. All right. Featured music for this episode.
Yeah.
We get Country with Bump.
Wow, finish that word.
Woo!
Woo!
What is it when like a word, the letters stand for something?
An acronym?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
I came up with an acronym for
I'm okay.
that the other day, which is for communications people. But it's just Canva users no talent.
I use Canva a lot.
It's like, what a...
That's very funny. I don't know how apocryphal this is, but I had heard that at one point there's the post-secondary school in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Where my friend's family's from, so I know a little bit about
like
the area.
the beer.
But they it was called the College and University of North Tyneside, like because that's the Tyne is the river that goes through. So it was the College and University of North Tyneside. That was what they decided to name the new school, or it was upgrading from like a vocational college to a university or something. Name. And it wasn't until they had like banners printed, they saw it like acrostically that they were they were like, oh no.
I love going to.
I don't know how apocryphal that is, but yeah.
I hope that that's still what
I always think of that. College and University of North Tyneside.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm a massive kid. I mean, especially in Britain, where they say that all the fucking time. It's really
I mean, I guess
funny.
it's a little less apocryphal then.
Yeah, it'd be like calling your school shit or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, jerk. I go to jerk. All right. TV. Oh no, sorry. Featured music. "Country with Bump" by Neil Nelson Band.
Cool.
Yeah.
Whoever
Sounds
you
like
are.
a fake band name.
Yeah, not real.
It's a Neil Nelson.
Yeah. Yep.
And of course, "Space Oddity" by David Bowie.
Yeah.
Great needle drop.
Except that now I only ever think of the Flight of the Conchords song that Bowie's in space.
Oh.
What you doing out there, man? That's pretty freaky, Bowie.
I like it. TV Guide describes this episode as Dean. Yikes.
Woo. Doing another Samhain episode, huh?
Dean is abducted from a crop circle while investigating a UFO sighting. He quickly discovers he isn't dealing with aliens, but rather with fairies.
Great, thanks.
Sam searches for him and stumbles upon a world occupied by elves, gnomes, and a leprechaun.
Why make the episode, like, change the opening, do this fun thing, if you're just gonna, like,
give away the fucking
who
goat?
gives a shit?
Because I didn't want to watch last
Life
week's.
is meaningless. Fuck your hard work production team.
Insane. Yeah, this is just for someone who didn't watch that episode and wanted to watch the next one, maybe.
Yeah.
All right, but before we start talking about this episode, I am curious to open up Dad's journal and learn about what the real world lore is, because there is a lot to choose from,
it's true.
and things that don't reoccur.
Some things do in a way.
Okay.
And
in a way that's like such a backwards bend. That
but not for like a while.
Sure,
like, like one of the things that the lore could be this week doesn't come back until like season 15.
Wow.
Ish.
Wow.
Quite some time.
Because you've mapped it all out.
I've mapped it all out. As we know, there's a plan. I'm Kevin Feige. I know exactly where this is going for years. I've had this plan the whole time.
Yeah, that's why you've been fucking me over on those digital rights.
Yeah, you're welcome, baby. So let's see what the lore says about alien probe. No.
I was really hoping it would be about aliens.
I was debating it.
Because this is the only episode about aliens.
Well, it's not already not. It's the second time that.
But I mean, that aliens have been brought up.
No, I opted for it. Let's see what the lore says about leprechauns.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So, leprechaun is a specific kind of like fae folk or a fairy from Irish folklore or Gaelic folklore, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, it's not that festival where your body parts fall off?
What?
Leprechaun.
Like a leprosy convention? Hey, you know who'd be a huge hit there, though? Jesus.
Hey, hell yeah.
Yeah, one mass blessing.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna blast some blessings all over them. Go to Hall H and get fucking loaded full of blessings.
H is for holy.
Yeah.
Which some of you are, clearly.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Take that, lepers.
Sorry. Jesus. Yeah, they've had it too good for too long.
That's right.
So the first known mention of a leprechaun comes from this thing that I cannot pronounce, so I apologize to the Irish listening. But it's a thing called the Ectrafergus Macleti, which means the adventures of.
I'm glad that you did it with a Scottish accent. That really makes it.
They're all
better.
it's all fucking Gaelic, whatever.
Gaelic.
Jesus, can we have the? I'm gonna get a bomb in my mailbox.
Oh no!
Fucking, which means the adventures of Fergus, son of Letty. So in that, King Fergus falls asleep and he wakes up being dragged into the sea by 3 Lucorpain.
Okay.
Again, I can't pronounce it. He captures those 3 and they grant him wishes. And that's like a foundational part of leprechaun lore, right? Is that if you manage to capture one, it has to grant you a wish.
Mm-hmm.
So in turn, I think the myth developed that they were difficult to catch.
Sure.
They become very elusive, solitary. They're tricksters. They're notoriously hard to catch. They enjoy practical jokes and like goofs and stuff like that. They're neither good nor evil.
Chaotic.
They're sort of like chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
They're known as like cobblers, like shoemakers, and hoarders of wealth.
Yeah.
And in some literary texts and stuff like that, there's the thought that the wealth is from like an earlier kind of like folktale battle, and they've found it and taken it. That is not like theirs initially.
Interesting. Okay.
But that's like the pot of gold at the end of Rainbows thing. So the word leprechaun itself, there's a few different ways to interpret what it means etymologically. If you believe it has a more kind of Latin root, then it might come back to a word like lucorpan, which means half body, roughly, because they're short.
Little. Okay. Yeah.
Or it could mean it could be a more Celtic thing like leitbragen, which means half brogue, which refers to them being like shoemakers, cobblers, and also short.
Yes. Sure.
It's really important that people know they're short.
Yes, it's kind of their whole thing.
Leprechauns take the form of diminutive old men with either red or white beards. Interestingly, before the 20th century, they were only ever described as wearing red clothes, not green.
Interesting.
And sometimes like military coats. But it would be like red was the color. W.B. Yeats came up with this thing where he said the color of the clothes is like the difference between a solitary fairy or a trooping fairy, one that goes in a group. Yeah. And green would be for the trooping fairies, and red would be for the solitary ones.
Sure, yeah.
They're related to other similar types of fairies known as cluricons, which are also tricksters, but they're like wine fairies.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And there's also the fearderg, or that's the plural of like, fardarig, which is an even more mischievous trickster. But essentially, they're all kind of fairy folk. And, you know, the fairy folk kind of come from like a side space.
Yeah.
You know, like modern thought of it would be like another dimension or something. You have to kind of pierce the veil to get at them and their world. There's things in like Irish folklore. I can't remember what they're called, but it's like where a river has like naturally worn a hole through a stone. If you hold those up, you could see through glamours and that. You could see fae folk if you ever found one of those kind of like ringed or river stones or something like that. So all of those things, leprechauns are just a little part of that. There's other types of fairies, you know, there's other types of fae folk. You get into like Tir na Nog, all that kind of stuff, but leprechauns are just a little part of it.
Little part of it.
Yeah, that was deliberate. Fuck you, leprechauns.
What I always want to know is what's with the pilgrim outfits that you see them in?
I mean, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, that's funny too. I think that's mostly because a lot of the writings of them come from
like that
a sort of like 1600s, late 1600s on sort of era.
Well, probably
because like the buckles on shoes, buckles on hats, that's like Oliver Cromwell shit. That's like Pilgrims to America shit.
I wonder if that's just because of like within like immigrating to America, a lot of these like Irish folk tales and stuff maybe came along.
But I think you find that in English writings of them too.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's just because you're getting more writings of them.
Sure, yeah.
You know, there's writings of other things, but like it's hard for stuff from the Middle Ages to have survived particularly and stuff like that. So I think it's like the abundance of stuff that we get probably starts in those eras, and so the imagery of them comes from that time, I would guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Leprechauns.
Leprechaun. Yeah. Back to the hood.
Have you seen those movies?
They're so bad. They're so bad.
That one specifically is really bad.
Jennifer Aniston's in the first one, I think.
Yes. And that one I've seen.
Yeah.
And
it's also not good, but it's, I mean, I was about to say it's fine. It's not. It's bad.
It's a weird concept to pull a string on, and I don't know why it exists.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it, but I also don't.
I don't think I've ever really. I mean, jury's out on this episode, but I don't know that I've ever really seen a great take on leprechauns.
I like the Is the Leprechaun in Space? Is that one?
Probably.
I feel like it is.
They made like a Jason X, but for the Leprechaun franchise.
I feel like they maybe did. I've seen some weird ones, but I do like those movies. They're stupid.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, let's get into today's episode.
Let's do it.
We start with Then, which is Sam is obviously back. He's got no soul. We know that.
Yep.
And the soul is in the cage.
Yeah.
He is not Sam, and he's admitted to being like not himself.
Yeah.
And he does want help, but also he doesn't really care.
Yeah, I mean, and
he knows he should want help, but doesn't really.
And
care.
listen, if not having a soul makes you look like that, then like
Take it away.
sign me up to get rid of my soul.
Yeah, if having a soul is just suffering, I'd love to get rid of it and look like that.
I mean, maybe my favorite little treatise in this show is that having a soul is to suffer.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's some real fucking existentialist shit.
Yeah.
That's
some Nietzsche like shit.
That's right where I fucking live.
And want to die.
Bunch of like early 20th century French philosophers jerking off to this episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Albert Camus is like, we're all strangers. We're all strangers.
I love it. It's the only game in town. Oh, great line. Well, let's start talking about that episode.
Sure. I'm ready.
So, we begin with a teenage couple in Elwood, Indiana, laying in a cornfield in front of a truck.
They're laying in a
music.
cornfield, and he's about to lay in some pipe.
It's more like the horny field.
Yeah. But then there's like a quick like,
yeah, it's
like the shadow.
Field.
Yeah, he's a corn star.
Yeah, we're on TikTok.
Yeah, you see like the quick something darts past, and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Get back to trying to fuck me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I want us to be safe." And she's like, "Fine."
Fine, I guess.
And then they both see something dart, and then he's like, "I'm just gonna wander into this cornfield alone. It'll be fine."
Yeah, that in
Even though
everything.
they both see something faster than a person.
Yeah, I'm sure
He's like,
it's fine.
I'm sure it'll be fun. We'll split up, and I'll go into this place where I'll get lost.
Yep. And then he ends up seeing a gigantic bright light.
Yep. And he gets like, we see him get like beamed out.
Yeah.
And then she kind of peeks in, and he's gone. Yeah. And
that's the cold
open.
open.
Like, guess I'll fuck myself.
Still wants to.
Yeah. Grabs a cup of corn.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Jeez.
I'm so sorry.
Wow. This one's got a huge stock.
I'm really sorry.
So, few notes here.
I'm gonna shuck this.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah. I'm gonna go shuck myself.
There it is. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Are you proud of yourself?
No, but
okay, good. Yeah.
That won't stop me.
I mean, it never has.
Yeah.
So, few notes.
Sure.
So the jacket that Patrick is wearing, in the opening is looks exactly the same in every detail, same exact colors, same exact patterns, with the Smallville Crows jacket from Smallville from 2001.
Oh, that's fun.
The only difference is that the letter is the C on the front instead of the capital S.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so they were a little nod to Smallville there.
Sure, yeah.
We then move from
somebody should have saved him.
Yeah, and also in a cornfield.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of Smallville. So.
Yeah, he should have found a baby in a rocket ship.
Yeah.
That should have been where this episode went.
Alien still.
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
yeah.
We're getting pretty close. So we then move from this cold open into a title that is a little different than what we're used to seeing.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's like X-Files.
It's exactly what it is. It's 100% X-Files, including even the way that the episode started with the text coming in like it's being typed in like X-Files.
Yeah.
So the opening title sequence that replaces the shattering glass is a replica of the X-Files intro. Another similar series, obviously, with two FBI agents and doing it. We've gone through this over and over.
Yeah,
again, but
I do like the starring Jared Padalecki.
Yes,
I do love like the different kind of setup of the opening.
We even get the truth is here.
The truth is in there is what it says.
Is in here.
Oh, I don't think it said in there.
I think it's in here, but
it would make more sense to say here. But I'm just gonna stick to my guns.
at the end of the sequence, while the X-Files reads, the truth is out there, obviously. Not only has Supernatural drawn numerous comparisons to the series, this episode is about the Winchesters battling what they think are aliens, and Mitch Pileggi has a recurring role in the series. At the beginning of the series, there's a ton of different things that do that. But this is probably one of the one that's the closest to actual X-Files.
I mean, it's a full, like, they just lean in on that concept, which is fun. And what I like is when we come out of this title sequence, we start getting, like, people doing, like,
interviews,
confessional kind of interviews. They're looking, like you right at the camera. And for a bit, you're like, okay, what's happening? They're talking about, like, oh, it's been like a circus here since this stuff started happening, all these wackos in town or whatever. And you go, maybe someone is filming them? And then it's just the POV of the guys. Like, they're all talking to the
But it's very much
boys.
the way that they shoot and edit those for X-Files episodes.
I don't remember about the X-Files.
Yeah.
That's...
So they're investigating these disappearances, and we hear basically that there's just reports of crop circles and bright lights in the skies and rumors that have spread of that the disappearances of many people.
Yeah, there's 4 missing persons cases that are open.
Yeah. And they are the work of either aliens or maybe even fairies.
Well, yeah, we see this one woman go, it's fairies. And talk about that. And that's when we reveal that everyone's just been talking to the guys. That's where we finally get a shot out of that, like, kind of first person perspective.
POV.
Yes. Yeah.
You fucking creeps. Don't pretend like you don't know what it means.
Yeah. Put on your VR headsets and interview the town.
Or hold your iPhone up to your face and try to pretend like it works.
Yeah, that's the only way I can finish.
Dean and Sam...
Finish cracking this case is what I mean.
Yeah, no, of course.
Of course, I'm a hunter.
Poon hunter.
I was this close to
I know you were. I could see it in your eyes.
I was going to let it sit for a bit. You beat me to it.
I know. Dean and Sam then go to visit a watchmaker, Mr. Brennan, who is the father of the first abductee, Patrick Brennan.
Yeah.
And he is working hard on, like, a watch and is very much just, like, does not want to deal with him. He's acting kind of strange. He's like, I've already talked
but then
to
he sees an atomic bomb go off on TV and he's like, well, what's the point of watchmaking? And then years later, later his son leaves the watch in the intrinsic field machine, becomes Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, and then there's a giant squid monster that lands on New York.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways.
I love how you followed that. Oh, yeah, you fucking nerd.
Oh, no.
One of us.
No, I'm cool. Yeah.
Oh, God, he's cool.
I'm a bad boy. Classic bad boy.
Yeah, nerd, scram.
That's why I did all these years of tap jazz dancing. Because I'm cool and bad. But yeah, he's acting very strange. And he's very much just like, yeah, my son's gone. It's fine.
Yeah.
And they're like,
don't worry about it.
Yeah. It was like, what? Like the most suspicious acting ever.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's the I think you should leave sketch. It's like, yeah, there was a hit and run. The cops said it basically didn't matter.
Yeah.
Said they didn't matter.
So funny. And he basically does not want to engage with the boys, and he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Because they're posing as like reporters or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really bad at it. And Sam was already like, that fairy person was like, they're fairies, and he's like, you smoking the wacky tobacco, and he's like, you fucking hippie, like he's like going off
so
on her.
aggressive.
And Dean is like, can you like pretend to have a soul?
Yes. Just like watch other people who have souls and try
Sam
to
is
do that.
also doing that with this one. He's like, you're talking like someone who's hiding something.
Yes.
Dean is like, please, for the love of God.
Yes. So they decide that this guy's suspicious. They're going to need to figure things out.
Yeah.
So Sam's going to stay in the city to watch this guy.
Yeah.
While Dean goes out to the cornfield that Patrick had disappeared from.
Yes. Yeah.
But Dean's very much just like, can you just not like, just don't kill this guy? Like,
yeah. Sam's like, I did fine for a year, and Dean's like, I don't want to know what you think fine is.
Yes.
Which is like, we've been thinking about like Sam in these moments, but to zoom out for a second and be like, wait a minute, we've seen Sam's like judgment in the last 3 weeks, and how if Dean wasn't there, stuff would go way worse. And then you go like, he was doing that for a year.
Yeah.
And fucking Samuel was letting him, piece of shit.
Yes.
I mean, it's not time for the segment yet.
No,
of
I
course,
know.
but
Fucking hold back.
Hold your breath.
So So they decide, that Dean's going to go and investigate the cornfield and Sam's going to stay.
Yeah.
While in the field, Dean then gets a call from Sam. Sam tells him that he's basically been watching Mr. Brennan. And he is not doing anything.
He's like at a bar. The
just
guy's
drinking.
at a bar, and Sam is just sitting at a table.
Yeah, and he's drinking. That's all he's doing. And he's like, I think I should just go talk to him. And Dean's like, don't fucking talk to him.
Yeah, he's like, you're basically incapable of doing
Yeah,
that.
and as this is happening, suddenly Dean sees a bright light in the
He's
sky.
like, aliens! He starts like screaming into the phone, and Sam just like orders more drinks.
yes.
He's like, oh, aliens, really?
Yeah.
He's like, what kind of encounter is that? He's like, that's a close encounter, third kind. He's like, because fourth kind is butt stuff.
Yeah.
Isn't that a fun joke?
Yeah. So there's a couple moments in this episode.
There are a couple. They don't linger on them, which
And
I'm
you have
thankful
to
for.
make a couple connections to know the joke that they're making.
Yeah.
Like it's not overtly like you're gay.
I mean, no, because there is a recurring theme in like alien abduction stories about like being probed and stuff. It's not explicitly of them like making a gay joke thing, except for why is it funny to bring up the butt probing thing unless you're like, do you want some gay to happen to you on an alien spaceship?
Exactly.
And I think that's kind of the like, ugh. They're quick. You can kind of blow past them, but they're in there.
Yes, they are there. Yes. So Dean basically gets like this huge bright light on him and disappears.
Yeah.
Then Sam gets a beer and is like, I guess you'll probably deal with this like at some point.
Yeah.
As he's like checking out bartenders and like he does it like twice in this where
he's and like aggressively.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'd say he's hunting.
Yeah. I mean, look, we're all guilty of like taking a look, but
not like that.
Not like that.
He's basically doing the like a wooga.
Yeah.
Like
I do like the like. It's always like not bad.
yeah. It's like, I mean, I have cum gutters, but you're fine.
Yes, he's like, I worked on this, but I guess this will.
I got rid of my soul for this. Yeah,
and it's worth
I
it.
shaved all that soul weight.
I went to soul class.
I can't eat soul food anymore. That's why I look so good.
Anything else?
I
ran a lot on my souls.
Yeah. Sole is a healthy whitefish you could eat.
You can have that in another country. Seoul. Is that a country or a city?
Well, Seoul is in another country.
Okay,
it is a city.
A city. That's what I meant. Yeah. I guess it's not a country. Anyways, Sam then decides to go to investigate the scene of Patrick and now Dean's disappearance.
But he ends up going to this like it's almost like a it looks like a festival ground.
Well, he does that after. He goes to the actual crop circle first, and that's where he finds Dean's phone.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Right after Dean is kidnapped, and when the UFO camp is shown next.
Right.
As we're going into this UFO follower camp, basically.
Yeah, it looks like a farmer's market of crazy people.
Yes.
It's like a bunch of vans and posters, and they're like, I made a zine about fucking all these fucking crazy nut jobs.
Yes. As they're arriving in there, there's music that plays, and it's the 5 distinctive notes with an electronic instrument.
It's the Close Encounters.
It is.
Theme,
it's just been slightly changed, but it's they basically it's the actual theme song with 2 notes flat, 1 half step to avoid royalties.
Right.
So they didn't have to do that. But they even mentioned this. Obviously, they're saying Close Encounters.
Yeah. So there's all of these fucking whack jobs there, including Robert Picardo, the doctor from Voyager.
I fucking love that.
This is a thing I love about Supernatural, though, too, where you go like, well, he's the guy, he's the guy, and then he disappears for the episode for a bit. You're just like, he'll be back. Robert Picardo's coming back. You don't bring Robert Picardo in for like 3 lines and to get sloughed off by fucking Jared Padalecki.
Yes, no
Sorry,
way.
Jared.
Ironically, though though Jensen never was in Star Trek,
right?
They were both on Smallville. Ackles played Jason Teague, and Picardo played his father, Edward.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the 2 actors actually never shared any scenes together on Smallville, but they do obviously in this. So
interesting.
Yeah, so I thought that was fun. Sam goes up to Wayne and asks him how to hunt aliens. And this is a great moment.
Yeah, and he hands him like 3 loose 8.5 by 11 pages. And Sam's like,
this is just saying the aliens
he's like,
exist.
do you have proof, though? And he's like, I think 30 years of people saying they've been abducted is proof. He's like, I already believe this. I'm looking for my brother. He's been abducted.
How do I get him?
I need info. What do they do? How do I kill them?
Yes.
And the guy's like,
Yes.
And he goes, you ever think that after 30 years, and this is all you have, that maybe you're just shitty at hunting aliens?
I love it. Instead of it's not real, it's you're bad at hunting. Yeah.
Sam goes so hard at him, and he just kind of goes, oh. But while he's doing that, this woman goes, oh, your brother's been abducted? Can I fuck you? And Sam goes, let me belittle this bald piece of shit first.
Yeah.
And then he does, and he's like, now let's go rail it out. And then they do, basically.
Yeah, her name is Sparrow Jennings.
Sure.
Then hours later,
Let's just say he doesn't sparrow the rod. He doesn't.
Let's say they had a close encounter.
Yeah. Of the...
Yep. Yep.
I don't know, man.
Poon kind.
Yep.
Oh.
We did it.
Good at this. Yep. Word winning.
I just learned the other day that the term poontang is probably an anglicism of the French word putain, which means whore, but the French also use it as like, that's the way we use fuck. They go, oh, c'est putain bordel de... Like,
yeah.
But poontang probably comes from that. Fun fact.
Weird. And does poutine come from?
No.
Okay.
Different word.
Okay. It's whore fries.
It's whore, yeah. I'd like my fries whore style.
By that I mean sloppy.
I'd like whore style fries, please. God, I want to order them that way.
So, hours later, Dean reappears where he had originally been abducted, brandishing a knife and a gun.
Yes, yeah, like firing and stuff like that.
So good.
Which is great.
He then heads back to their motel and finds Sam and Sparrow in bed together.
Yeah. And I don't really think that this is a great position that they're in.
I mean...
She's just lying flat on him. Yeah. She's not even like upright.
Yeah, it is weird. It's not like...
It's nothing.
I mean, you can make it work.
No, he's just in her. They're not moving at that. Like, the way they're lying down.
Yeah, but when you look like that, I'm assuming you don't
know.
No,
like, trust me. Like, I've thought about this.
I've recreated this, and it doesn't work.
It does not work.
Yeah.
That's my side project, is I will have sex in the exact way they do in every episode of Supernatural.
Here's the thing. If you have no soul, you must suck at sex.
Well, I think he sucks at making love. I think he's great at fucking.
Oh, I don't think so. I think there's no pleasure for anyone in that. He's just like accomplishing a goal.
Yeah, isn't that what you're...
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Anyways, Dean thinks he's only been gone for about an hour. He's just like, seriously? Like,
yeah. He's like, you didn't think to look for me?
He's like, I did. And then I couldn't, I've got no options.
He's like, what do you mean you did? I've only been gone an hour. Well, this is where we're kind of blending scenes here. But he goes, I've only been gone an hour. And Sam's like, you absolutely have not. And he shows him his phone.
Yes.
And he's been gone for like all night.
Yes, exactly.
But just before that conversation, she's like getting her clothes together and that. And she's like, I totally get it. You guys need some family time. I'll head out. By the way, what was it like? She turns to Dean and he's just like,
it sucked. Get out of here.
Leave. And she's like, all right, too soon, huh?
Okay.
She's pretty funny.
Here's the thing I wanted to ask you. When she stops, did you for even just a second think that she was like, I mean...
What, threesome?
Yes.
No, I didn't think that.
For a split second, she stops and I'm like, she's like, look, I mean, these guys are both so hot.
That's true, but I didn't think that. And even though it hasn't happened yet, this episode does not position Dean as fuckable.
That's true.
In this episode, anytime there's like eyes on someone, it's only on Jared, and Dean might as well not be there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Weird.
That's what happens when you get rid of that soul.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You focus on your soul or plex.
What's sexier than just like a husk of a man?
The thing you have to constantly say to your wife.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Your Honor.
Oh
no. Dean's upset. And after his abduction, they seem convinced that aliens are at the center of this Elwood's disappearance.
Yeah, because Dean is like, I got abducted. I was gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a bright light. Like, it's fucking aliens.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, all right, I guess we'll figure it out.
So Sam researches at aliens at the library while Dean stays at the motel and checks sources online. While Dean's alone, the door suddenly busts open.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck, no, not again. And, like, we see a light, but then this, like, little, like, glowing orb flies in.
It beats
and
the
Dean,
shit
well,
out
it
of
just
him.
hovers there for a bit, and then Dean looks really close and he goes, nipples?
Yes.
And then it starts beating the shit out of him until he traps it in the microwave and explodes it.
Crazy.
Which is so good.
Brutal death. Yeah.
So good, though.
Yeah, I mean, great. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, pretty brutal.
Yeah. But when Sam arrives,
I think we also missed a bit where Dean had seen when they were out talking or something. Because right after the thing happens to Dean, they go to research or whatever, but then they meet up at like a bar or something. And Sam is like asking him questions like, so I'm not supposed to have sex with people while I'm looking for you? And he's like, no, of course not. He goes, but what if I ran out of all the things to look for and there were no more leads and I still had time left? And Dean's like, you don't do it. You just sit in the misery. And Sam's like, but even if I could be fucking. And Dean's like, you don't. You're just sitting there and you feel bad. And he goes, so having a soul is feeling bad? And Dean's like, yes. You're like, Jesus.
It's like, why would you want that? He's like, because it's the only game in town.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there is sort of like what I assume like either like maybe sociopaths have to deal with and things like that.
I mean, that is basically how they're playing.
Yeah.
Sam is like a guy who is trying and failing to masquerade. I mean, I think actually sociopaths are better at masking it.
Yeah.
But yes.
Or it could be, I mean, there is
that kind of like
there's especially
psychopathy, sociopathy sort of thing in there.
And also, I mean, or alternatively, there's sort of like a spectrum-y thing going on there, which is like, I think like when you don't understand social cues and things like that.
I think
like,
there's a difference though, because I think I feel like the spectrum thing is not understanding the rules, but having a deep emotional well.
But that's
whereas the psychopathy
yes.
thing is like you understand the rules, you just don't feel it.
That's
but you know exactly what you're
sort of a combination of the
do.
two, which is like you don't feel, but also you need to know the rules.
I know what you're saying. The show kind of decides episode to episode which way they're playing him, but I think it's dangerous to overlap them.
Well, I know.
Like,
they're
I mean,
one
even,
and the same.
But I mean, like even for the show,
yeah,
it's a little dangerous that it's getting more consistent, but it hasn't been
totally.
You know, like
yeah. So Sam puts together the clues and determines that all the UFO encounters were actually the cause, though, of fairies.
Yeah, he's like, there's a ton of crossover of like,
because he gets back
the
into
quote,
basically
like symptoms and the lore and that, and he's like, I actually think the fucking hippie lady was right.
Yeah, because he's basically saying, because Dean's just like, this lady beat me up, and he was like, did the lady have wings? And Dean's like, why?
Yeah.
And he's like, because it sounds like it's fairies.
Yeah.
So they decide that they're going to meet this lady.
And also
Mary.
they establish that like Dean
can see it, but
Dean
Sam
can
can't.
see the refuse.
Yes.
And Sam can't.
Yeah.
So
they go to visit Marion, a woman that they interviewed earlier, who said that fairies were behind the disappearance.
Who is totally chill with Sam, even though he like ripped her a new asshole the last time they talked.
Yes. She tells them all about fairies.
Yeah, and she's like so into it, and she's like, "Oh, they're great. The Fae folk, they live in the world next to ours, and the blah blah blah." And she's talking about it, and they're like, "What do we know about like how do you interact with them?" She goes, "Well, they love cream."
Nice.
And Sam goes, "So do I."
Yeah.
Let's go to your room, Marion.
Yeah, I have no soul. I'll give it to you.
She goes, they love cream. Iron hurts them. If you spill a bunch of grains, they have to count them all, which I think we've talked about in a previous lore segment.
Totally.
That has applied to other things too, like in other beliefs. I think
I
even
know,
vampires and
I'd
stuff
love to
like
know
that.
Where
I think
that comes from?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure.
I mean, I assume that it comes from a hurtful place in some way, but
yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, so
3,700 grains of sand. There's 3,700 grains of sand.
Well, yeah, that's partly what I'm. They're like, oh, he's obsessive. He must be a witch.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if there is like a reason for that, like
there must be, but I either don't remember it or have never found it.
There's an interesting that happens there because so they basically get all this information from her, but the thing that like that I noticed in this moment, and when they like walk away from her, is they treat her like shit, and it's like she is right.
And also, like, look at the shit is real. They treat her so bad.
It's like, she is absolutely right. You are learning from her and then being like, wow, what a batshit crazy person who has the right information.
Yeah, it's like, you're all fucking crazy.
Yes.
Just because it's real doesn't mean you're not fucking crazy.
Yes. That bothered me.
Yeah.
So
they would never do that to Bobby.
No.
They would treat him like shit in a different way.
Yeah, it's because she's a woman. It's bullshit.
Yep.
Anyways, they leave and they end up seeing Mr. Brennan loading boxes of cream into his car.
Yeah, let's just say he's he's dumping some cream in his trunk.
And he's getting people to help.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of people just loading cream into his back end.
I don't know if I think it was the Doughboys episode, or I don't know if you know where I'm going with this yet.
Just being a creamsman?
No, about the what is it? Is it Rod Stewart? The rumor about him?
Wait, what's the rumor about Rod Stewart?
I believe it's Rod Stewart, and it's the rumor that he once got so full of cum that he needed to get his stomach pumped.
Oh, I remember this type of rumor from when we were like in elementary school or middle school. But I remember it being Elton John.
No, it's not Elton John, but
what I'm saying
I think it might be Barry Manilow, or it's
I'm not
Rod
saying
Stewart.
that happened to Elton John. What I'm saying is that was the rumor where I grew up.
But apparently, where it came from, whether it was Barry Manilow or Rod Stewart, it's one of the two of them.
Right.
It's that it was actually started by the manager who got fired. And so he just made up this rumor.
Man.
Which is funny because like 40 years later, people are still talking about it. So it worked. Like,
crazy.
So funny. Anyways, so yeah.
I mean, that's a wild rumor to start.
Mr. Brennan's going to have to get his trunk pumped full of all of his cream.
There's a lot of cream.
Yeah.
Liters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Dean decides that like obviously this guy's dealing with fairies. We just learned about the cream. He's a creamsman. This is what we got.
That was verbatim from the episode. Yeah. We just learned about the cream.
Yes. I mean, kind of. I think Sam literally goes,
they love cream.
Yeah, I think it's literally what he says. He goes, they do love cream.
Yeah. I cream, you cream. We all cream for fairies.
Yeah. I scream for cream.
He's wearing a shirt. Yep.
Anyway, so Dean decides he's going to break into the shop as Sam watches Mr. Brennan. And as he's looking through the shop, he ends up seeing elves.
Yeah, like other like wee folk, and they're like making watches.
Yes.
Shit like that.
Drinking milk.
Drinking cream.
Yeah, hell yeah. Just swallowing loads.
Yeah.
And when Dean exits the watch shop, he tells Sam that the shop is full of Keeblers.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's referring to the elves who make the uncommonly good cookies using elven magic for the Keebler company.
He's really hitting the R on Keebler, too.
What?
I don't know. I was trying to make it sound more like a slur.
Oh, I was like, because it doesn't sound like
Listen, it was not a good joke. I think we can all admit
that's
that.
never stopped us before.
No, but you know.
So he tells Sam, who then confronts Mr. Brennan at the bar.
Yes.
And learns that the man summoned a leprechaun.
Yeah, and
he was
like, I'm a watchmaker. My father taught me to make watches. I read Watchmen.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have Parkinson's, and I can't make watches.
I can't support my family with the one talent that I have.
It's the only thing I know how to do. I got to imagine that's not true. But
I watched this with somebody this morning, and they were like, Just what? Because he would refuse. He's old and refuses to like get with the times and like learn how to use a computer.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? You learn how to use Mastodon.
A thing that you just accepted.
I mean, I signed up, but I still don't know how to use it.
I saw it. And
Do you know what?
I don't even know what this is.
Do you know what I'm figuring out though? Is Hive, which is sort of like a Twitter, Instagram, MySpace love child.
Weird.
It's interesting, but it's clearly not ready for the influx of people coming over to it. It's literally run by 2 people.
Really?
Yeah. But I like it. Great. Little plug for Hive here. Great space, like aggressively like inclusive.
Wow.
Like really crack down on hate speech and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the feed looks Twitter-esque, but you can write longer posts like Instagram. It puts the images up top and full the way Instagram does, but you can make your profile like grid format or like kind of tweet style, but also your profile page can automatically play music like MySpace.
What?
I'm enjoying it. This is the feed.
Oh, it kind of looks like Instagram.
Kind of looks like Instagram, but you can also just do kind of just text and stuff.
It looks a lot like Instagram.
You know? But then the profile looks like Twitter.
Yeah.
Unless you go and do like grid style.
Then it's really like Instagram.
But then it could play a song on your page.
Why? Oh my god, you have a song, of course you do.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So little plug for Hive, because I'm actually really enjoying it. It's very intuitive. Like it's just
Batman's got complicated feelings about it.
Just make like a better Twitter.
Yeah.
At any rate, sorry.
Cool.
Back to the episode. Thanks to our sponsor.
Hive. I wish. So yeah, we learned that he ends up like his whole life, his mother has been basically grandmother has told him about fairies and fae folk and things like that.
And she had this book, and he was like, I didn't think it was going to work. I was just desperate because I'm a watchmaker and I won't learn a new trade.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how watches are booming business.
Yeah. Even when I got into it.
Yeah. It'd be funny if he was also working on digital watches, but still with like gears and stuff.
So I decided to go back to school and learn HTML. And by that I mean how to make lockets.
I refused to go back and learn anything. So I tried magic. That is essentially his logic.
Yes.
He goes, I didn't think it would work, but it's easier than going to college. And I summoned a leprechaun and made a deal with him, but now all these fucking fairies live there and I can't kick them out.
And they took my son.
And
yet still more affordable than tuition.
Yeah, but at least I'm not back in school again.
Looks dead at the camera and says, that's for you, American education system.
You think I'm going to get retrained? Yeah. No. Big watchmaker is going to keep me in the money.
That's right.
Until there's no watches left. We're going to get every last watch out of the ground.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Anyways. Unfortunately, the consequences were the kidnapping of not only just his son, but firstborns all throughout the city.
Yeah.
Which is...
We pump 42 billion... tons of crude watch parts at this well every day.
Not cream?
No. Watch.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a big oil thing.
Yeah, no.
Big watch.
Cool. So, unfortunately, some weird energy in this.
Yep.
So Sam resolves to help Mr. Brennan reverse the ritual he used.
Yeah.
To summon the leprechaun.
He's like, do you still have the book? He's like, the fairies are guarding it. Like, I can't get it. But, like, it says how you can make them go away, but I can't get at the thing.
Yeah. I mean, there is a weird moment that'll happen later where it's like, he could have kind of done it the whole time.
He could have absolutely done it the whole time.
Anyways, so meanwhile...
But as we know, he will not take the easy way.
No, God, no. Meanwhile, Dean is being stalked by a fairy, a red cap in particular.
Yeah, and we saw this guy out the window of the bar earlier when Sam was like, so I shouldn't fuck while I'm looking for you. It would have been amazing to show how soulless he is, that he just has his laptop like on her back.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
This is my PowerPoint.
Yeah, I had notes.
I excel at
yeah, I'm
this.
processing words right now.
Time to spread the sheets.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fuck, that took way too long. But we saw that guy out the window, but Sam couldn't see him, and then that combined with the microwave thing that Sam also couldn't see. We're like, the Marion, the woman that knows everything about fairies, goes, you could only people that have been to their realm and come back can see them in our realm.
Yeah.
So that's the explanation for why that shit was happening. But yeah, so this guy in a Tyrone Bigham's toque is walking on the other side of the street from Dean.
And he suddenly starts following Dean everywhere he goes.
Oh, God. Oh, sorry, mister.
So a funny thing, in the Irish and English folklore, red caps, usually portrayed as ugly humans wearing a red cap or hat, are malicious beings, typically acting as enforcers for fair folk court. Which what said character essentially does in this, or simply harassing humans for their own entertainment. So this is like the enforcers.
Yeah, like Ty Domi.
Yeah. More like Ty Doomy.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. So Dean ends up like going around a corner and getting ready to tackle this guy.
Yeah.
But as he does, it ends up not being the red cap anymore.
Yeah, it's just a different guy, and he tackles him.
It's also, unfortunately, a little person.
Yeah.
Which, as he's yelling, like, you're a fairy, there's a lot of problems.
It's got real, like, the sort of vibe you'd get from, like, a late 80s, early 90s, like, comedy where someone's going nuts and, like, if they're, like, actually being haunted by dwarves, but then he'd be like, you dwarf, and then he'd just be, like, a random guy. You'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, it has that kind of vibe.
Yeah, he's like, say it again. He's like, I get more tail in a week than you have in your lifetime.
It's kind of like, it's like fucking that scene in Elf. That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. It has that vibe. And then by the time Sam comes around and sees Dean, he's being, like, put into a cop car, and he's like, get those fucking fairies!
He says, fight the fairies.
I mean, it still feel like, but the vibe of it.
Yes.
Obviously, he doesn't say fuck. We know that I'm embellishing.
He says,
but it has a real, like, aggressive vibe that if you're a stranger,
you think that
they're like, this guy
hate.
Because they even say in the episode, I think, like, what kind of hate crime is this or whatever? And it's like, what a fucking pleasant view of the cops that they give a shit at all.
Yes, I know.
I mean, that's how you know it's fiction. But or
that they care about hate crimes at all.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But because he keeps talking about fairies, and I guess the guy that he tackled is also gay or something. And that's the don't you get it? That's the joke.
Yes.
It is pretty good from the outside. They'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
But
let's just say Dean's got a lot of John in him in that moment.
Yes. But now Dean's in jail.
Yeah.
And Sam's on his own.
For being a patriot.
Yeah, Jesus.
You might as well have been screaming no collusion as you put into the car.
Word police.
You get Antifa.
But now Sam, who can't see the fairies, has to fight the fairies.
Yeah.
Also, the title for the X-Files movie is Fight the Future, so I don't know if there's a connection there, but this is an X-Files.
Oh, maybe.
So
yeah.
There's a thing there. So Mr. Brennan and Sam now go back to the shop.
Yes.
And this is the moment where I'm talking about where I'm just like, they show up and he's like, oh, no, it's fine. They're drunk on milk. And it's like, so this happens every day? Like,
yeah.
So you could have gotten
done it the whole time.
Yeah. You would just take it and then go somewhere else.
Yeah, just fill them with your cream.
Yeah. Fill them full of cream until they get knocked out.
Yeah.
And then read from the book. Anyways, as Mr. Brennan is starting to read the ritual, he is killed by none other than Picardo.
The doctor.
Yeah. Of course, it's Wayne Whitaker, who is actually the leprechaun that Mr. Brennan made the deal with.
Yeah.
And the leprechaun now is basically talking with Sam, and Sam's got a gigantic shotgun in his hand.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all fucking fully full of lead, not cream.
He's trying to make like a deal or something with
he's
Sam.
basically like, hey, like something seems off about you.
Oh, yeah. He's like, souls have a certain
Perfume.
You're missing one. I can get it back for you if you want to make a deal. And Sam's like, you can't get my soul from the fucking devil. He's like, your devil, not mine. I'm not from this realm.
And part of me is all I could think was, oh my God, what's the leprechaun devil?
Yeah, well, there was a little part of me that's like, oh yeah, what is your? I was thinking of like the robot devil from Futurama. Like, what is your version of the devil? That's awesome. Yeah. It's the one for the movie.
Yeah. But like, so he's basically like, like, do you want to make this deal? And Sam instead just shoots him.
And he's like, oh, iron.
It hurts.
It hurts. Not a deal breaker though. And then we start this kind of fight.
Yes. Where basically Sam is like, he's like, look, you gotta get close enough.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'll do this. Like, I'll fight you.
Yeah.
But basically he starts getting his ass kicked. Yeah. Obviously.
And then he finally just dumps a bunch of sand or whatever. Salt. And he's like, Robert Picardo was like, fuck. And Sam's like, why didn't I do this earlier?
Well, so it's funny that he says that because actually at a convention, Jared Padalecki had said that he felt strange that Sam had all that salt all along and didn't use it. So after pouring it, he ad-libbed that line, why didn't I use this earlier?
Which works.
Yeah.
I think it's good, yeah. But yeah, Robert Picardo like sits down like crisscross applesauce style, which is so funny, and he counts so slowly. Like there's no magic powers where he goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like he's just like 1, 2, and he's like, there's no system. He's just dragging random grains from wherever.
So funny.
It's very, very funny. And while he's doing that, Sam is reading this spell.
Yeah.
Dean is being attacked. Meanwhile,
by the red cap,
by the red cap, Tyrone Bigham's guy.
Yeah.
And Sam finishes the spell. Robert Picardo's at like 8 in his count. Like it's not like there's no suspense to it.
No.
Sam just beat him.
Very funny.
And finishes the thing, and they all get kind of like sucked back into their dimension.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
And I mean that's basically the end of the episode. We find out that the little person who was the district attorney for Tipton County dropped the charges against Dean, and he's
also, did any of the missing people come back, or are they just
gone?
Don't
talk about it. So
yeah, I think they're just stuck in the Fae realm.
There also is another weird sort of like homophobic thing where they talk about, it's like, well, what happened? Like, why did they take these people? And so then they say they go to like service the king.
Oh,
and they don't
right.
which is a broad statement, but then Sam's like, Dean, did you
service the Oberon, king of the Fae folk? And yeah.
And it's like, here's the thing, they don't overtly say anything, but it's enough to like, you know what they're fucking saying. Anyways, that's the end of the episode.
So you know what time it is. It's time for the Fuck You Samuel Campbell Memorial. Who was the biggest asshole this episode segment?
Yeah.
Who is the biggest asshole this episode in your opinion?
Sam.
Interesting. Just for having no soul.
For being like basically not caring about Dean, barely doing any work to help him. Like he's
supposed to care about Dean's balls deep, baby. Yeah. Or not, the way they were lying. I don't know, man.
When you're that hot, you don't have to do much.
Cool. I mean, neither of us have ever been that hot.
No. I'm not saying
that as if you do.
No. Let's just say I do a lot of work.
Neither of us have ever been that hot.
I feel like I have to earn it.
I'm
lucky to be in the room.
A lot of imposter syndrome.
Yes. Yeah. He's just an absolute asshole in this episode. What do you think?
He is, but it's also like he's also like incapable. Like he has a line in this episode where he says like, I can't care about what I can't care about.
Yes.
He's not even saying, well, I can't care about what I don't care about. It's like he's like, I can't. Like he's not even able to try it. And so, he is, but what are you going to do? I'm going to say, biggest asshole this episode. I'm gonna say it's
it's Mr. Brennan.
It's the watchmaker.
Yeah. He could have gone back to school and he didn't.
A guy who was like, I'll put like reality and my family on the line just so I don't have to learn a new skill. Yeah. I mean, he had Parkinson's, but still.
Boo.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyways, Lord, those are the monsters of this episode.
Yeah. Thoughts on the episode in general?
I love this episode. This is such a this is such like a great snapshot of like what makes the show great.
Right.
I think that we haven't gotten a fun episode this season yet.
True.
Like not really. This is such a like sort of like light fun episode. It's probably the best I've seen representation of Sam's no soulness. Like,
yeah, we're really zeroing in on what it means. This is what I was talking about earlier. It's like I think they didn't know what it meant, and so sometimes it felt more like spectrum-y, but the more they make it a sort of like psychopath, sociopath thing, the better an image.
Yes,
I think,
and it makes it easier to sort of like clock like what are the differences
that he's intellectually there, but. I didn't mean for that. That's not what I mean. What I mean is that he understands the rules.
Yes,
but he can't. Like he has no emotional investment. Yeah. He's faking anything he does. Is fake.
Yes.
He's also just choosing not to fake it a bunch.
Yes, but I think it's such a good representation of that.
Yes.
I think like it's always challenging in this season where because Sam is playing so much of the Dean in a lot of ways, it forces Dean to sort of try to be Sam, but also can't.
He has less and less to do.
Yes.
Unless it's an episode where it's like Sam's way versus Dean's way.
So instead they just sort of make him a bit of like a joke in the episode, which works.
Yeah. And he's also like, he's the punching bag.
Yes.
Or
like the straight man. Yeah. Honestly. I mean, in a weird way, he's like having to be like, sorry about this guy.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is an interesting dichotomy because like Sam is also,
but he's not doing it for like comedy. Yes. Sam, he's doing it for like angry yell at strangers.
Yeah, like
which
Sam,
is way less fun.
They're both the straight man and the joke. Like,
yeah, it really. You're right. It does throw off the dynamic a lot,
bit,
which is partly the point. But.
Yeah. I mean, get it. When you're 6 seasons in, you don't expect to go any farther. So you're like, time to switch things up.
Yeah.
But like, I think that...
Yeah, should we give Jared more to do?
Yeah.
The lesson is...
Yeah. Do you want to try to see if he wants to direct?
Good one.
Still love that. But yeah, I think that like I mean... Fucking Picardo's incredible.
Yeah, he's great.
All of the like bit parts are fun in this episode. The cop was kind of funny. Like like they everybody does a really good job. The effects are great. Like really well.
I agree. And actually, a thing that I really like about this episode is like there's some creative like camera work. We have like the POV stuff at the beginning.
The fight is
There's
so
also
good.
a shot of Dean where it looks like the camera's mounted to him.
Yes, when
and
he's
it's
running.
faced at him, and it's when he's being chased by the guy. And it's interesting, you know. It's just a short little shot, but it does kind of ramp tension, and it's definitely different from having like a still or a steady kind of cam.
Yeah. The fight that is happening between the Red Cap and Dean and the fight that's happening with the Leprechaun and Sam is like really well edited, and like they're having a similar fight. It's really well shot.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I like that a lot. I think like the writing is really good. There's some weird, obviously like of
they
the
still
era.
Can't shake it.
Yeah, it's getting less and less.
Yeah.
But there's 3 jokes that you really made in this episode, which is just like all right.
Yeah.
So I think I am gonna give this 4.5 loads of cream in my mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 4.5 creamed loads.
Yeah, I love this episode. This is one I always remembered, and of season 6 especially. Like when we're rating this based on its season,
within the season. Yeah,
it's a top-notch episode. Did you not feel the same way?
I don't.
Wow.
I think it's fine, but I think it's like middle of the pack.
Wow.
Part of that is that I know how good this season can be when it is good, you know, and we already had one of those with Weekend at Bobby's, but there's like another big one coming.
Yes.
This is another episode that I appreciate the commitment to the alien bit and like changing the title and stuff like that. Like, I think that's a really fun misdirect, but we never really, they kind of say like, so you just go into town and then you say it's alien. So that throws people off the scent. You go, off the scent of fucking what? They were this close to finding out it was fairies?
Leprechauns? Yeah.
Like, what is the plan? It's sort of like the reason to do the misdirect kind of doesn't exist. They do it well, but there's no reason for it.
No, it's just a good way to tie that guy into it. Yeah.
It's just a thing. It's just a reason to make this episode 40 minutes and not 20.
Yes.
So that's a little sloppy. I do think the Dean Sam dynamic is like, it needs to do something soon, because it's just like, we get it. Like, we can only have so many episodes of like, man, this guy with no soul is like,
he sure is different. Yeah.
Especially now that we know, right? Like, that needs to become a thing.
Yeah.
But we're also like, we're disconnected from the Alpha thing, from Crowley, from
the
Purgatory.
Campbells.
We haven't seen Castiel is in the opening credit thing, not in this episode.
Yeah.
So it's like, we're disconnected from like the Angel Civil War, everything that's happening. Yeah, the Heaven nukes. How many threads are there this season? This is none of them. In a way, I appreciate that, because it's nice to have
Like a
just
one-off.
an episode, and I think it's a plague of a lot of shows that they can't just do an episode.
It was funny. The person I was watching the episode with was like, is this like, is Supernatural just like a Monster of the Week thing? And I was like, no, it hasn't.
Certainly
been.
not at this point.
No, not since like season 2.
There's a part of me that appreciates that, but I don't know that I think this is well executed.
Oh, interesting.
There's good effects, good fights. It's well shot, but it's kind of still just like I think the characters are off.
Wow,
I think
really?
I
love this.
It's just not. It's fine. I would give this 3.5 lazy tradesmen.
Wow, we are far away from each other. Jeez.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Rein it in, birthday boy. Well, those were our reviews. But before we go, why don't we read a note from a fellow hunter?
Sure.
From Evelyn, who says, "Hi, Richard and Reed. I wanted to say hi and thank you for your awesome podcast for a long time now. But every time I listen to you guys, I'm in the car. Not the greatest place to type up a fan email. Anyways."
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it's fine. That's what the other hand's for. No, it's not.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be looking for my brother,
Yeah.
but
I
I did an aggressive mime.
I don't even know how to explain what just happened. But it's weird to see that action and then the word brother next to each other. Jesus. Looking for my brother.
It's just anyway.
So they continue. Anyways, I'm only in the second season of your podcast, so bear with me for a moment while I tell you how I got into your show.
Sure.
I got really, really late into watching Supernatural. Not the only one here. Like only 3 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Around the same time.
Yeah.
I'm Dutch.
Okay.
Uh-oh. We've done some accents.
Yeah. There's
We really tried to find Dutch for a while.
There's a Dutch ultrasound tech in town that I used to do an impression of.
Yeah. Dutch.
Please don't move the table.
Yeah. Oh my God. He is very serious about that. No cameras.
Yeah.
And at the time, it wasn't broadcasting there. So I was too busy starting a family anyways. So a couple of years ago, I had noticed that some of my favorite Marvel fanfic writers, yes, fanfic.
Nice.
I know.
Yeah.
Were also writing SPN fic or had SPN fic bookmarked. So I read some pretty great writing about Sam and Dean. Nice.
All right.
And then Castiel.
Nice.
And then Destiel.
Nice.
You know how it goes. So after a while, I decided to give Supernatural TV. What an insane way to go to watch Supernatural.
I read all the fanfic.
Yeah.
Now I'll watch this. I read a bunch of stuff about Kirk and Spock fucking, and I thought I should watch Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, a lot less sucking and fucking than I'm used to seeing. So after a while,
a lot less sucking and fucking.
Good Lord, come.
Yes.
So after a while, I decided to give the Supernatural TV series a go. I'd seen a few pics and GIFs on Tumblr already. Jesus, still. But boy, was I pleasantly surprised. You could definitely see that the show was a bit older, but I loved the freaky storyline. The banter, the emo, the fascinating supernatural creatures, and Dean. Oh my God, Dean.
Listen, you don't have to tell me.
Needless to say, I was hooked. So, in a few years, I worked my way through 14 seasons of SPN. The husband doesn't dig it, so it's just me and my laptop. Been there.
Yeah, when you're supposed to be looking for your brother.
Going skiing.
That's not what I was doing.
Yep, it sure looked like it. Some seasons were awesome, some not so much. But I stubbornly hung on until season 15. I hope the same thing happens for this show.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't watched Endgame either. I refuse to see RDJ kicking it. So season 15.
Yeah, because the fanfic where he makes love to Thanos and they set aside their differences, that's the ending I like.
Yeah, the snap is
Endgame.
The snap is the hymen.
Jesus. He just Good Lord.
So season 15 remains untouched.
Wow.
Although I know exactly what happens, instead I looked up your podcast when I saw it mentioned on Tumblr.
Whoa.
We're on Tumblr and not the way that I assumed we would be.
Yeah, it's not fanfic.
Yeah.
It's not read-churred fanfic.
And it did not disappoint.
Well, that's great. Thank you.
I love the setup with the lore from Dad's Journal, the foreign TV titles, the play-by-play. It's really cool to learn about Easter eggs in an episode and other references, hear through analysis of the episode, and then watch it all again with that in mind. Bloody brilliant. And the thirsty comments. I'm so here for it. One will make a raunchy comment. The other will say, with deadpan, say, "Oh no," and then it all goes downhill from there.
Yeah, you have cut me to the core.
Is that what Spock sent to Kirk?
Oh, Jesus. You have cored me.
Cut. Oh. You're going to say... Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page. Why do we have one brain? I'm cackling so loudly that the people in the car next to me must be wondering what the hell is going on. It's glorious. And I love it most of all because nobody else knows, nobody else that I know personally has watched SPN or shares the thirst. Can't fangirl to any of my friends, although some of them do objectively appreciate the hotness of Jensen Ackles and Jared. I can't choose. Do I have to choose? So when I listen to your podcast, I know you get it. I love how you guys share much passion for the series and your insights. Please never stop. Thank you so much. Much love.
Thank you. That was very sweet of you.
Yes.
We don't deserve it.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Yeah. What is wrong with me? You did this to me. I used to be such a polite boy.
I poisoned you.
Yeah, you did.
Well,
now
if you
I'm twisted. I'm sick and twisted.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's fucked. Oh, it's so fucked. Oh.
So if you want to continue this conversation, sharing Star Trek fanfic, or just appreciating the podcast or the show, you can have those talks on our Patreon.
Yeah, patreon.com/ghostfacers. For only $1 a month, you get access to Angel Radio. It's our awesome community Discord server. We're all chatting about SPN and like just fun stuff, getting to know each other, and it helps to support us.
That's right, and including if you want to be like Evelyn and give us a note that we can read on a future episode, so maybe talking about something that either we missed or that you have a special expertise on, or you want to talk about,
Dr. Christine, where you at?
Or
where you at, Dr. Christine?
You want to core somebody?
Easy. Easy.
I
just want all my blood transfused.
Yeah, that's it. So I want to replace it with cream. Could you do that? No. I mean, not survive, but I mean,
I almost said give the old cream transfusion. That's such a gross thing to say.
You could send that email to ghostfacerspodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us through our various social media platforms.
Yeah, we're at GhostfacersPod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you get the episodes in automatically every single week. And while you're on that platform, why don't you give us a 5-star review and we will read it on a future episode. If it's not on Apple Podcast or Facebook or something, just take a screenshot and send it to us and we will read it. Also, if you want to show the world that you're a lore whore, or other merch that we have, you can buy it on ghostfacerspodcaststore.com.
Yeah. The newest shirt we're gonna make is "Give me the old cream transfusion."
Yeah, jump on the cream train. Also, we have another podcast,
the Dr. DC podcast. We talk about DC Comics. We answer listener questions. We talk about the lore of superheroes and stuff like that. So if you enjoy the way that we talk about monsters and stuff like that over here, you might enjoy how we talk about superhero stuff over there.
It's also Canada's funniest podcast.
It is Canada's funniest podcast. And
I think we're just allowed to say.
And this podcast, Ghostfacers, we're the TV and filmist podcast. So
the most TV and film
it's certainly the most.
Yeah. So that is it for this week. Say goodbye, bitch.
Jerk.
This was a Brain Freeze podcast.